had a couple people ask me to do a lesson on Fibonacci retracement. So before showing you how the retracements work, just a little piece about the retracements. The Fibonacci retracements are actually based on the Fibonacci sequence that basically states that each term in the sequence is simply the sum of the two preceding terms, and that sequence of numbers can continue forever. So basically 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on and so forth. The retracement levels come when you take a number from the sequence and divide it by the number that follows it. So for example, 8 divided by 13 is 0.6153, and if you did 55 and 89, 0.6179. So the average always comes in at about 61.8, and that is referred to as the golden ratio. The 38.2% ratio is found by taking a number and dividing a number in the sequence 2 places away, and the 23.6 is found by dividing it 3 places away. The 50% retracement shows up in the Fibonacci retracements tool, but it's not actually a retracement of the Fibonacci. It's just used as the median of whatever you're measuring. So I'm going to show you here on Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. If you run a Fibonacci sequence from the most recent highs to the peak of the low, you see that the golden ratio here, the 61.8, is here at 318.17, and you can see the multiple rejections it has faced at that point since it has crossed underneath it. The next most powerful is the median, or the 50% retracement. You can see how it's acting currently as the base of the most recent attempt to push it up, and you can see here where it held it until it finally collapsed here. If you were to assume that this was the end of the move, if this stock for some reason gave you a reason to assume the trend was going to move lower, you could take your Fibonacci retracement at this point and you could draw it from the lows to the high to find out quite possibly where you would look for supports on the way down. For example, here at the 300 mark, you have 2 Fibonaccis that overlap each other. Also here at the 61.8. I often look for multiple packs of Fibonacci retracements as a harder support and resistance line. If we go over to Amazon, you can see again how Fibonacci's play a pretty big role here. Just go out to the yearly chart. And if you do a retracement from the absolute high to the peak low, you can see the retracements lie with the 50 currently acting as the resistance point, and it has acted as multiple support points and resistance points in the past, as well as the 61.8 here and the 78.6 here. Again, if you thought this was going to be the top to Amazon, you could simply run one from the low to the trough at the top of the highs at 347, and you could have your retracement levels on the way down. By no means am I saying it's the top, but if that was your idea. Personally, I would look for a rotation higher in Amazon this next week. The last example I'll give you with these retracements is Apple. I'm not going to, I guess we can redraw Apple. As you can see, I've already got Apple's drawn on here. This is the all-time high down to the trough low, and then back up. So the retracement's drawn. You can see Apple acted as support at the 38.2 and resistance multiple times before getting back over the top of it and acting as support before it pushed higher. The 50 as well. The 61.8 here usually takes a lot longer to break, but it was on an earnings push until it broke through it. And even right now you can see the 78.6 is acting as current support in the most recent trend. Even more bullish, so Apple is sitting atop the previous 52-week high, and it is basing here with an uptrend. I would look for Apple to continue a rotation higher, probably into the 98.40 area, and then back to its all-time high in the 172 area. I will also show you what I mean by a grouping of Fibonacci retracements on my ES chart. I have drawn quite a few Fibonacci retracements. Let me just save it real quick and then I will show it to you. So if we remove all drawings, we can simply take our Fibonacci tool and start measuring retracement levels on the most recent drops. So for example, we can go like this. Oh. Don't know why the 78.6 wants to hang out. So we can go like this, and then you can find your next sizable dip, which I would say is here. You can measure that, and so on and so forth. This will give you just ideas of points on the chart that you should be expecting to see. You'll also be looking for larger pockets of them, multiple Fibonacci levels next to each other. Usually when they stack, it is a pretty powerful support or resistance line. So you can basically see what's going on here from what I'm showing you. There are multiple retracement levels from different points all over the chart. You can see here, for example, multiple 268 and 161.8 retracement levels gave resistance and is now supporting here in the 1945 to 1950 area. The next larger pocket is in the 2000 range, here in the 2007, and then so on and so forth all the way up into 2036. So this would definitely be my area I would be watching on the breakout of the most recent highs there. It would be somewhere here in the 2007 to 2036 range. I would assume that maybe a spike up this high, but I wouldn't assume it a clear breakthrough through this patch. 2000 will probably be a pretty big number just because it's round. But other than that, I think that we should be able to see a continued move up this next week out of the ES. So hopefully this helps you a little bit with Fibonacci retracement and how to use them. If you have any issues or have any questions, just let me know.